Facts First presents Probation Officer Gets Shock of Her Life When Her Boyfriend Enters the Courtroom Handcuffed. That sounds like the beginning of the worst day ever. Before we get into this video, help us spread the word about Facts First by clicking that like button. Also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Probation officers don't have the easiest jobs in the world. It's up to them to make sure that criminals do what they're supposed to be doing. And that can include performing drug tests, checking up on them at home and at work. It can be frustrating and thankless at times, but there are people who are willing to take on the job. When a couple gets engaged, it's one of the biggest days of their lives. The first thing a man does is he goes ring shopping. That's how couples seal the deal. Most guys already have an idea of the type of ring that their fiancé-to-be would like. After buying the ring, he needs to plan a proposal. Some guys are fine with simply taking her out to dinner and proposing after dessert. Other guys plan fun and creative proposals. Either way, the day a couple that gets engaged is a day that they'll never forget. When your significant other stops by your work, it's usually not a big deal. They might be stopping by to bring you lunch or coffee or just to say hi because they're in the area. If you're a probation officer working in a courtroom, showing up at the job is not the best idea, and that's what happened to a probation officer named Tiffany Allison. Tiffany is a probation officer at the Justice Network in DeSoto County in Mississippi. On most days, she was in the Hernando Municipal Court sitting near a judge. Allison had a boyfriend named Brett Stidham. The two were together for a few years, and he was never in her courtroom before this day. This probation officer got the shock of her life when her boyfriend entered the courtroom in handcuffs. For Tiffany, the day started like any other day. Men and women were coming into the courtroom to stand before the judge, just like every other day. She was working on paperwork between the cases. She looked up and she was shocked to see her boyfriend Brett being brought in by a deputy. He was wearing handcuffs and a yellow prison jumpsuit. She couldn't believe her eyes. She saw Brett that morning before she left for work and everything was fine. She just couldn't imagine how he got himself arrested in only a few hours. She was shocked and a bit embarrassed. Her coworkers were sitting around her, watching the deputy bring her boyfriend before the judge. She couldn't believe this was happening. Allison was shocked when her boyfriend stood before the judge. She was even more shocked when her boyfriend addressed the court. He started by saying, "Your Honor, with all due respect, there's no need for this court to examine me. I'm guilty." Tiffany's jaw hit the floor when she heard that. She was shaking and terrified for her boyfriend. After shocking Tiffany and the entire courtroom, he continued to say, "I'm guilty of being madly in love with the girl of my dreams. She's my best friend. I'll forever be in love with her. From the moment we met, my heart has been a captive of your love. You and you alone are the one I want to represent me in the trial we call life." When Tiffany realized that it was a marriage proposal and Brett was not in trouble, of course she was relieved. When Brett proposed, Tiffany realized that the judge, the deputies, even her coworkers were all in on the surprise. The whole time, Brett and everybody was in on the proposal, and they were watching the two. Brett kept his head down like he was ashamed and he didn't want to make eye contact with her, but he could see the confusion and the bewilderment in her face. When Brett was standing before the judge, Tiffany started to hyperventilate. Brett thought that she was going to pass out, and for a moment he was considering telling her the truth right away just to put her out of her misery. He decided to see the whole thing through, though, and he's glad he did. After making his speech, Brett got down on one knee with the ring box in his hand. Tiffany started crying right away. She couldn't believe that Brett was proposing in this unique way. It was sweet, romantic, and extremely creative. Brett's amazing proposal was caught on video and posted online. On one site alone, the video has had over 3 million views. Wow! People from all over the world loved his proposal idea. The range of emotions that Allison experiences in just a short time, it really is incredible. What's the most creative marriage proposal you've seen or maybe even participated in? Tell us in the comments below. And subscribe for more.